It's a common mistake.
Tubers, tubettes, and crazy people. I am here with Gerard. And he is here kindly enough to respond to my last video that I did about racism. And so thanks for coming on, my friend. And you watched my little video.
Yes, I watched the entire video, but I also want to say that I took Paul up on his offer. So Paul put an offer out there that if anyone wants to come on his channel, talk about it, rebut it, they're free to welcome, and he will have them on. So I'm going to say right up the top that Paul is a man of his word, because I am here right now, and I've been on Paul's channel once before, and I'm delighted to be back again.
That's true. You were on 2 years ago.
He was the reason why I started my own YouTube channel.
and when we started that video, you surprised me because you put a mask on that said Black Lives Matter. And
yeah.
Right? And so after I ran the video, I watched unsubscribe, okay?
That to show you how narrow-minded. I put it on and took it off. It was like I kept it on.
And I kept it going.
Right.
And so I said, oh, what the hell? So I loaded up the video.
Right.
And then I did this video, of which I missed the point. But anyway, we did our video about racism, guy being married to a black, and you got a reaction to it. And I watched the exact same dynamic. Unsubscribe.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow, a lot of black people got pissed off. Wow. A lot of white people got pissed off. And I was like, that's cool. All right, if they don't understand that we're having a conversation here about a topic, about an elephant in the room.
Right.
And I did miss the point, as I was telling you earlier, that when this gentleman and his wife moved to Thailand, all the racism stuff went away.
Right.
And that was the point of the video. We forgot to make it because we got so entrenched in the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so you watch the video. I'm going to start off with a question.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to hand the ball to you and let you run with it. Okay, fair enough?
Okay.
All right. Do you think between white people and black people, do you think that either group, and if you do, which one, is more racist than the other? Same question I asked him.
Right. Okay, now that is, to me, like a loaded question. And the reason I say it's like a loaded question, because it's not a matter of who's more racist than the next. To me, it's a matter of who has more of a right to be racist against the other. And the reason I say that is because in all actuality, blacks would have a more of a reason to be racist against whites because of the history of blacks in the United States, in America. So yes, and a lot of that is still being piggybacked here today. So blacks have a more of a right to be racist against whites than whites have a reason to be racist against blacks, because in my opinion, most of the reasons why whites are racist against blacks is because the stereotype, they don't work, or they're taking our jobs, or either, they want something for nothing, and all this stuff, and that cannot be more further than the truth.
Okay, fair enough. Are blacks racist against whites?
I don't think, I think blacks are, how do I say, hot-wired. They are hot-wired to be racist against whites.
So is the answer yes?
Are they racist against whites? Mm-hmm. Yes, they are racist against, racist.
It's a weird word.
Yeah, it's a real word because, because you can say whites are racist against whites. But you have to understand the underlying reason why.
Okay.
You see, blacks are racist against whites because, whites have always want to be superior over blacks. So the reason why the blacks call the white man the man is because at one time there was a plantation house, and they knew that that's the man inside there, the man who lives there. He had say all over you lived or died, who you breathe with or whatever, where you worked or not. And as they gravitated into the more metropolitan, the man became the system. The man became, the government. So it's always been, a reason for blacks to be, or that was their reason for being racist, because they felt man controlled all the aspects and always seem to keep their thumb on the black man and not let him, achieve and, equality as the white man did.
Is that still true in modern day today?
Yes. It's true. And a lot of the, in housing and employment, and a lot of aspects, banking. Like if you and I had the same house side by side, and you brought an appraiser in, and appraiser, appraised your house at $200,000, and then walked to my house and want to appraise my house for $150,000. See, that's discrimination because you are taking away my personal wealth. So yeah, it still goes on today because that's how the system's designed. The system is not designed for not only blacks but for any minority, rise to the same equality as whites.
Okay, so I've got 100 ways that I could debate that, but that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video was to give an open forum to a person to react.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
I would be happy to answer it.
What is your white experience with blacks?
Good.
Well, what kind of experience? No, background-wise.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Worked with a lot of black guys.
Right.
Throughout my life.
Right.
Never had an ill word between us.
Okay.
Never ever did I feel ostracized. Nothing like he experienced, the guy that was on my channel.
Right.
Okay. I never ever felt threatened. I never felt ostracized. I never felt like they were making fun of me. In fact, we would mix it up and break each other's balls a little bit. So I would break his balls about being black, and he would break my balls about being white. But that's because we were friends in an environment where it was just guys being guys.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you lived in an integrated community all your life?
No.
Okay, so how was your family structure?
That was my working
Okay.
situation. When I grew up, to answer your question, there was one black kid in our school.
Okay.
Dana Love. Never forget his name.
Right.
He ended up being the fire chief of Northridge, California. Thank you, my friend.
Right.
So when I was brought up, I was not exposed to blacks.
And your family dynamic, you was not exposed to blacks, never a mean word about blacks, or nothing being taught to you about blacks that you later changed your perception of blacks.
I'm gonna tell you the proudest thing that I can ever tell you about my family and my father.
Okay.
And this is the truth. I'm not pandering to this.
Okay.
This is the truth. If it was different, I would say so. I think people know I'm truthful. Never once, when I was growing up, did I hear anything about God or religion. That we didn't go to church. We weren't religious people. And I never once heard my father use any kind of slur against any group, ethnicity, or religion, except for breaking balls with Jewish people. Because we grew up in this saturated Jewish area. I was like 40% Jewish. And my father was in the real estate business, and he was at a country club, and he would play golf with them. So he would always make fun of the Jew guys to their face, and they would come back at him. And it was all in good-natured fun. Now, let me tell you a quick story. I know this is your interview, but you asked the question. 1 year ago, I went home to America to visit my father for his 97th birthday.
God bless.
God bless him. And he's in the beginning stages of dementia. Now, he couldn't remember if I had children or not. And he was embarrassed. He was saying, "I'm sorry, honey, but don't you have kids? And what are their names? And what do they do?" And I videotaped all of this. I have all of this on record because I videotaped our conversation knowing that it may very well be our last.
Right.
But he could remember things when he was 7 years old, like it was yesterday. That's how dementia works.
Right.
Different parts of your brain start to activate and others fade. So we were talking about his time in the Navy. And he was stationed in Hawaii, and he was waiting to go to Japan because he was a rear gunner. And I said, and he was pissed off because he didn't get into any action. They dropped the bomb, the war was over, and he had to come home without getting to kill. Yeah, he was 19 or 20, and he didn't get to kill anybody. You know, that was what he wanted. Okay. He couldn't wait to go blast somebody out of the sky. But you know what he told me out of the blue? I said, what was the worst part of being there? It didn't sound that bad to me. Hell, you were in Hawaii. He goes, the way they treated the black people. He used the word colored.
You're right.
Okay, that's his generation. He goes, the way they treated the colored people was horrible. He says they wouldn't let them eat with us. They gave them all the crappy jobs. They had to unload the bombs, which could have taken out the whole squad. They'd had to dig the latrines. They had to clean the stuff. He says, I never was so uncomfortable because they were my brothers. I flew with these guys. These guys, if we went to war, were going to be side by side with me. And we were going to either take a bullet or not. And if he went down, I was going to help him. And I knew if I took one, he was going to help me. So that's the proudest thing that I have ever been able to say about my father. And so my family life, I think I'm the anomaly. I think I am blessed. I think that I came from a family that did not have any of those preconceived notions. I will also give you a caveat. I married a woman who was from Tennessee. Her father, my ex-father-in-law, and I took a drive through Mississippi going to some riverboat casino he wanted to take me to. I never heard the N-word tossed around more in my life. And the most uncomfortable car ride I was ever in. I was like, my ears were almost virgin to it. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't believe you're saying this, dude. Because I wasn't raised this way. Right. But so, yeah, I saw it firsthand. I'm fully aware of it. I've been in the locker room where the guy is, the black guy just left and one guy will say something like, rah, 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 rah. Sure. But to be fair, I think that there's the locker room where the one guy, white guy, walks out and the other black guy goes, hey, rah, 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 rah. Does that not happen?
Well, I can't speak with that, but you would think it would, because it's human nature.
It is.
But let me give you my family dynamic.
Okay.
My oldest brother, which is 5 years older than I am, and those of you who didn't see my video, you can on...
I'll put a link to his channel.
Okay, yeah, you can see it. My brother, like I said, was 5 years older than I was. My brother is white like Paul. My brother chose to live the white life and turned his back on his black roots. When he was in junior high school and early years of school, he learned the words darky and blackie and used to come home and beat my ass.
So was he black?
Yes, according to vital statistics, he was black.
So he was black, but you say he was in the vital.
His mother was black,
and his father was.
His father was white.
Okay.
His father was my mother's gynecologist who got her pregnant and promised to make him a doctor.
So he didn't identify as being black.
Not at all.
Okay.
He turned his family. He turned his back on the roots, on his root. Okay. At an early age, he pushed a cigarette lighter in a car when he used to hold it in and got red hot and took it out and put it to my lips. That's how much he hated, in my opinion, the fact that he had blacks in his family. So I learned about prejudice from within my household. You understand? And he used to beg me, don't tell dad, don't tell dad, don't tell dad. I never would, but my father knew. My father would put me on his lap and says, look, your hair is different, your skin is different. He says, but I love you all the same, like this. And it was very nice to him say that. And I grew up in the South. I grew up in the South when I went to school before they integrated, and went to school after they integrated. I used to run for the blacks in the South because I was from the North, and I was called Yankee. There's that Yankee, get that Yankee. They look like that.
So black guys were chasing you because of your location?
Yeah, for my location. And then, white guys were saying because I'm black. But see, I learned something, and I learned that people can hold things against you that you have no control over.
Yeah.
I had no control over the color of my skin. I had no control over where I was born. But people can dislike you because of that. Now, when I matured and I had my trials and tribulations, through my addiction, and I took the 12 steps, and it says, call and make amends and all that stuff like this. So I called my older brother, just many years later. I said, yo, Chuck, I just want to tell you, I remember what you used to do to me. I remember how you used to treat me. And I just want to tell you, I forgive you because you're still my brother. You know what he did? Click.
Wow.
Like that. You know, so you know, I was known as being anti-black at times. When I was in the service, I finally decided I'm going to go into Harlem by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like this, because, you know, I was conflicted and torn, you know, within myself of who I was, you know. So, you know, I never had many black girlfriends, you know.
Did you date white women?
Yes. Most of my education came from white women, older white women.
What was it that he dated? He was married to a black woman. Okay, white guy, black woman. You're a black man, white woman. Tell me about the dynamics. Did you get looks from blacks? Did you get looks from whites? Did you get no looks? What happened there?
Well, you know.
So we've kind of got the same dynamic in reverse here. I like it.
The only time when I got looks, and, you know, I used to be one of the personal photographers for Reverend Al Sharpton. And at that time, I was with a Ukrainian girl. And when I was at, you know, Al Sharpton's, I could not let them know that my girlfriend was white. And,
interesting little tidbit.
And with her, she could not let her friends know because she got a school in Brooklyn teaching in a black school. So she couldn't let them know that her boyfriend was black. So you see, so you know, but I never lived in the hood. I never lived in the hood. Because whenever I wanted to live, I always found, or always was with, a very attractive white woman who got me an apartment in the area that I wanted to live in, and that's where I lived and that's where I thrived from.
So did she feel any discrimination because he was, other than the Reverend Al Sharpton and some other group, but did you guys ever feel like you were getting weird looks from people? How about your family? Did they accept her?
No, well, my family accepted because my family is virtually mixed. You know what I'm saying? My mother and father got ran out of the South because they were integrated couple. You know,
that speaks a lot.
And they migrated to the North. You know, did we get looks? No. I didn't get looks because, you know, I wasn't in an environment where people looked at that as being strange. You know, I was in an environment where it was just accepted. You know, if you had a white woman, you had a white woman.
What year was that?
It was in mid 70s, you know, early 80s. You know, if you had a white woman, it's always assumed that you're pimping them. You know what I'm saying? You know, in some of the cases it was. You know, but
hey, just because I'm sitting with him right now, I don't think he's pimping me. Okay?
Yeah, no, the looks. For black girls or something like that, no, because, you know, I just wasn't around that mindset where people thought prejudice.
Okay.
You know, I just wasn't. So, you know, I'm excluded from a lot of that, you know, that negativity of being with a white woman or being with a black woman or what have you. You know, all I know is that, you know, there was a total disconnect between me and black girls. For some reason,
Why?
for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Sometimes I thought maybe I just wasn't black enough for them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I remember I was with this one white girl, this one sister, and I was walking, and I'm walking down, and she says, "Look, can you change your walk?" I said, "What? Change my walk?"
Really?
Yeah, you know, like this. I don't, my walk is pretty cool, I think. You know,
yeah.
My walk has caused accidents. You know, but I'm serious. I can tell you
accidents because I trip and fall down.
But I can tell you a couple of stories. But anyway, you know, that's, you know, that you know, it's just one of those things. You know, it was just, you know, I always was attracted to white women. You know, I just always was. There was just something, you know, there was just something about them.
Did you feel discrimination when you went to apply for a job?
Yes, I did. And I told a story that I'm a black and white lab printer where a very good black and white lab technician. That's when they were dealing with black and whites and all that stuff in newspapers and we have the printer. And I remember applying for a job and I went to this printer and I filled out an application and I put it in. And then there was something a little off about that interview that I decided, I waited a little bit and I went back there and I said, look, I forgot something on my application. Can I have my application back so I can, you know, put it on? They said, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. I said,
they already made up their mind.
I said, no, I really want to put this on the application. And they looked on the desk and they looked on the desk. You know what my application was? In the garbage.
Yeah.
In the garbage.
Yeah.
They had threw my application in the garbage before I walked out of the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
What
discrimination.
about racial profiling?
Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Police.
Police? Oh, well, do you think racial profiling exists?
I absolutely do.
Yeah, okay. It's not.
I absolutely
it's
do.
No, it's no fun. It's no fun. They have a prime
It
minister.
can't be fun.
No, they have a prime minister now in Britain, who they just removed them from his seat because he made a comment that all white men should have black slaves. And, and this is in today's society. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the mindset is still out there. Racial profiling, come on, man. It goes without saying because it fits the narrative of number one, in my opinion, that once a black man gets arrested and has a case or has a record, he's automatically eliminated from a lot of society's benefits.
What about a white guy arrested with a record?
Well, but the numbers are fewer. And see, that's the whole thing, racial profiling. The numbers show that even like your guest said, that, the blacks get arrested far greater, and although they're only 13% of the population, than they do white people. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, he talked about police shootings and what have you. And
let me ask you this, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's just in my head. Do you think black police officers shoot black people?
Yes, of course they do.
Okay.
Yes, of course they do.
So it's not just white guys shooting black guys because they've got a gun and they can't.
No, it's a culture.
It's a culture.
It's a culture within them. But what makes it so bad is that, they don't get held accountable for it as often as they should. And if it wasn't for body cam, a lot of these cases still wouldn't, be resolved. In fact, Rodney King never would have gotten any mileage out of it if someone didn't videotape it.
Yeah, I think body cam is a good thing.
So the body cam has really brought a light to a lot of the injustice that what takes place on when it comes to minorities being arrested.
When you watched our video, did you think that my guest and I were portraying ourselves as racist?
No.
Because I got a lot of comments from guys saying, "Oh, look at two racists talking about race."
Well, so did I. I got a comment that says there's nothing worse than two old white guys, living in the Philippines, talking about racism in America.
See, to me, that's a racist comment. They're judging me not only on my color but my age. I'm getting it twice. It's elder abuse.
But see, it's like the word woke. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's up to interpretations of how you look at it.
Yeah,
or how it applies to you. You know what I'm saying? Racism it's out there. I've conditioned myself not to be associated or not to be looked upon as someone else. So therefore, I conduct myself differently. When I walk into a store, I say, "Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? What's up? How's things going?" And then when they see me, I say, "Oh, he's okay, good guy," like this. It's like being an ambassador.
Yeah.
I walked into a 7-Eleven in New York one time, and there was these girls getting coffee. It was 3 black girls and about 3 white girls. And, I said, "Good morning." And I was looking at the sisters, and the white girl said, "Good morning." And so I walked into the sisters. I said, "And you wonder why black guys go to white girls?" I said, "Look, they responded to a simple statement as good morning. Mm-hmm. You probably interpret that as my trying to push up on you, trying to get you, or trying to like this, and it's so innocently. So, it's like I said, it's up to interpretation. I mean, there's a lot of racism when it comes to, what gets me is that people from other cultures or other minorities appear to have more benefits than blacks do today.
In what way?
Well, just in a lot, Asians. Hey, you take Asians. Asians now have a hate crime bill. Okay? That was passed in New York. Hate crime bill. Why? Because Asians were now getting attacked. Okay. Blacks have been getting attacked for the longest time. Is there a black hate crime bill?
I don't know.
No. And there are a number of other areas
Okay.
where it's not fair. I mean, I'm gonna say this: when the Civil Rights Bill passed, and the Civil Rights Bill was mostly targeted for blacks. Let's be honest. It was about them being given treated equal as white people. That's what it was for. But what they did was that they said, okay, well, we'll also include women. We'll also include gays. We'll also include Hispanics. We'll also include a whole hodgepodge of other causes within that.
Okay.
And as a result, the black plight, didn't get what it was due to the civil rights, passing of the Civil Rights Bill. You know what I'm saying? There was still redlining. There's still, discrimination in housing. That's not changing. I mean, it's been proven over and over again that you can go into a place and apply for housing and then, be turned down and then someone else comes in behind you who's not black and get accepted. But the second thing...
Have you had personal experience with that?
Yes, I had personal experience with that, but not so much because I knew that for me to live where I wanted to live, someone else had to rent my apartment, in the area that I wanted to live. Mm-hmm. But the main thing that came out of the civil rights passing was that it no longer allowed white men to call black men niggers to their face.
I didn't know that.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but I did not know that.
Yeah, that's when it stopped. It stopped for the longest time. I usually say trigger, but for this conversation, I'll say nigger. It stopped them from calling a black man nigger to his face. And it stayed like that for the longest time. I mean, they don't until recently, because of the climate we in is becoming more and more, prevalent for whites to be able to do that. I mean, you see them in stores, a woman calling somebody nigger and then getting bounced around the store for calling them that, and they're getting more emboldened.
Careful with the word, because the algorithm might pick up on it and not let me air this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why I say I normally say trigger. I usually don't say that. But
okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about blacks calling each other that word?
I don't like it.
Okay.
In fact,
why?
I tried starting a class action lawsuit because of the terminology that's used in rap music. Calling women. I wrote a whole manifesto.
But we don't want to get too loud because of the algorithm and the censorship that we have here.
Right.
I think we get it rhymes with witches.
No. I call them peaches.
Okay.
I call them peaches. See, I wrote a whole manifesto about using the N-word and calling them triggers, because trigger is more apropos to what it is that how you're trying to describe. A trigger is someone explosive. Someone's in your corner. You can say, "Hey, yo, trigger, what's up, trigger? Stop that trigger. Get that trigger." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we replace the N-words, and instead of saying the B word, you can say peaches. What's up, peaches? Oh, you peach. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of different ways how you can turn it around, but because of the culture, and I'm not talking about the black artists, I'm talking about the industry. The music industry has a label on its product that says parental advisory, 18 years or older. Mm-hmm. But yet and still on that product, you have children on it. You have, underage people on it. I have a magazine, and Snoop Dogg's camp, Dog Pound, sent me a CD to put in my magazine. When I put it in, the first voice I heard was something about a 2-year-old saying shit, and etc. And so I understand that the music industry gives an artist so many millions of dollars to put out a product, and he puts it out and everything, but when he might have his baby mama, he might have a lot of kids in the studio running around, and one of them might say something, and you get Mike, say it again, and then now you drop it on the project. Now the project goes to the label, it goes to the distributor. It's their responsibility to censor that. It's their responsibility to catch that and say, look, that cannot appear on there because it has an advisory label on there, 18 years or younger. You see, you wouldn't watch a porn movie, you know what I'm saying, with kids playing jacks in the living room, and then it pans into the bedroom, and and them getting their freaky deaky on.
Right.
Well, it's the same premise, So I try to get a class action suit going against the distributors and the music industry. It didn't go nowhere.
Speaking of that, forewarned is forearmed. I'm thinking ahead here about this video, and I really want it to air. I'm probably going to bleep that word.
Oh.
Because you said it multiple times.
Said what word?
The N-word.
I said it twice, I think.
Okay.
I said it once. I said it. Okay.
It's not allowed.
Okay. Yeah. No,
so anyway, I'm not going to alter the video, but I'm just going to bleep it.
Okay.
Just for I want to make sure the video uploads.
Okay.
All right. So I'll have May. She knows how to do that.
And the only reason I said it because if I used the word trigger, you wouldn't have understood what I was replacing it with.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So what is it like? And this is the point that I was trying to make with the guy the original time and never got to it. What's it like over here in the Philippines? Do you feel any of this animosity, tension, racism, bigotry, ignorance, whatever you want to call it? Do you feel that is here, or do you think that, like my friend, he said, when I got off the plane in Thailand, it went away. It didn't exist. He said, we were just accepted. Nobody gave us a second look. Have you had the same experience, or has yours been different?
No, mine is virtually the same. When I first came to a foreign country, I was terrified at first, not knowing where I was, when they were driving me to my hotel, I thought they were taking me somewhere out and kidnap me because I went on the way that things looked like they were doing. And when I landed, I walked around with 2 weapons on me, because I didn't know what to expect. But it wasn't until I was at a bus stop and I was sitting there and this woman had her back turned toward me and there was an empty seat between us and I was sitting here and she had a pocketbook in that seat, Paul. And I
remember the story.
Yeah, I sat there for about 15, 20 minutes and she never turned her back and looked at me or take a pocketbook and put it in front of her. And right then I knew that, I was in the right place. All that, you got to remember, man, I was living in a storage unit in Las Vegas because I got robbed so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For blacks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this. It's not like, I got the props as being a black man. It wasn't like, yo, brother, yo, what's cool, man? Boom, 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 let's smoke a joint. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, we're going to get him. And that's how I always felt.
Did you have more black friends than white friends in America? Or did it?
I had more girlfriends. Because that's who I hung out with, girls. There wasn't nobody calling me to play basketball or shoot pool or something like that or go fishing. You know what I'm saying? It was girlfriends. I hung around with girls. That's who I hung around with in the South. I hung around with girls because they were a lot more accepting of who I was than dudes were. You know what I'm saying? If we were sitting in a room with black dudes and I walked in, they would be quiet. But I tell you what,
it strikes me as odd. I believe it, but it just strikes me as odd. I have a question for you.
Okay.
That I didn't ever ask my guest. We both admitted that there's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a solution? Martin Luther King said, do not judge a man by his skin, but by his character.
But whatever solution that one can put on the table, it's going to be stripped away for what they're doing now.
What are they doing now?
They're placing all these Republican judges in position for life because they are in fear of that the status quo of white men, is in 20 years or 30 years it's going to be all minorities, all brown people. It's going to be brown people. Do you think that they're going to want to give up, their control? Give up the purse strings? No, so
do you think that was racially motivated?
What?
That to put all these white judges?
Yes, it's racially motivated. Yes.
Okay.
It's just like it's racially motivated against women, to strip them of abortion, to be, to take. How can a man want to make a decision on how a woman should control her body?
That's a whole new can of worms with this video.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Never talk religion or politics, and here we go. On a channel about the Philippines.
Oh yeah, well,
we will resume normal programming after this video. Okay.
But see, that's one thing I hated about President Duterte. President Duterte was trying to make it easier for couples to get divorced because he recognized that if there's a child involved, it's better for the couple to be able to separate in hopes of getting another partner who would provide that child a much stable household than it would in them being separated. So I got to hand it to him for him wanting to try to do something to rectify that problem, you know.
Do you think that a lot of the problems with crime and kids going on the wrong path and getting into trouble, do you think that is because of the dynamic of the single-parent household? Do you think that plays a role? Maybe not having a father figure or a mother figure for that matter in the house?
I'll tell you what played a role in it. When they stopped letting you whoop that little so-and-so's ass. You know what I'm saying? When they took away
I got a story for you.
You know, the parents' ability to discipline their own child. That's how they maintain structure, because the child knew that there were consequences for their actions.
That is a true statement.
Today,
your
they
kid can
have
call
no
you in
yeah.
and have you arrested.
Stories after stories.
But I still,
stories.
I didn't feel like I got an answer there.
Okay.
Do you think that the challenges that Black America faces today is that there is a very high percentage of absentee fathers?
Yeah, that's a part of it.
And I'll tell you why I asked that.
That's a part of it.
I was listening to two black guys discussing the same topic this morning.
Right.
Because it started rattling something in my head.
Right.
And they brought around, talked about median income. And they said that white people make more money than black people.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a statistic.
Okay.
I have to agree with
Okay.
it because it's, you know, what we were searching for in our last video is liars figure, but figures never lie. So that's a figure. That's a statistic. White people have more money than black people in America. You can look it up. Okay, it's there. But what his point
but
was.
Don't you think that's by design?
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's by design.
Okay,
Here's the whole thing is that, and kind of like, just so you understand my point of view, is that you know me as a human being for more than 2 years. And we haven't spent a lot of time together, but I think, you know me and I know you to some degree. I have never once woke up and said, gee, I'm going to go out and get that guy today, you know, or I want to hurt that guy, or I want to hold that guy down, or I like to see people succeed. I like to see people get ahead. You know, I asked you how your channel was doing before we did this video, and you said, well, so. And I said, well, if you know, we want to collaborate and do some tips or tricks or whatever, I'll be happy to help you. So,
so you listen to these two black guys talking.
Listening to these two black guys talking, and they were talking about this subject, and they said that a white woman raising one kid has a lower median income than a black couple.
A lower what?
Median income.
Oh,
she has less money coming in than a black couple. So a black husband and wife has more money coming in than a single white mom. Okay? That was their statistic. Again, it can all be fact checked. But they said that if you have a black couple and a white couple, the white couple are still making more money. That was another statistic. But the one that stood out was what they wanted to point out was the importance of a bona fide family unit, mother, father, keeping track of the kids. They trapped Denzel Washington one time walking on the red carpet somewhere, and they were asking him about the Black Lives Movement, and he refused to go there. He said no. He says, it's not a black or white issue. This is from Denzel Washington. He said, it's a cultural issue. He said, the problem in black America, according to him, is absentee fathers. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
You please reply.
Okay, well, you know.
And I'm not making an argument for whites here.
Right,
I'm just saying that I've never once woke up and felt any one way or the other about anybody on their I'm married to an Asian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So am I.
Yeah.
So we have that in common. So you have to go back to, I think, to the Johnson administration around that time when, or even before then, when they have decided that welfare was going to be something that was going to be given to people, or it was going to be given to households of a woman who was a single mother.
Yes.
You know, now what was missing was that the father could not live there. The father could not live in the household.
That's correct.
So in order for her to get assistance for a family, he had to leave. Not only that, she had to sue him for child support.
I didn't know that.
So which means that now he's off the radar because he's going to get a job and they're going to start taking money from him like this. So he's like, you know, hey, so a lot of that is from those decisions rather than saying, okay, you're a single mother, you have a father in the household, okay, we'll give it to you for X amount of time like this. By that time, hopefully the father and you have family unity. And you see, it was never really designed to really help pull you up. It was more of a design to tear you apart. So as a result, you end up with a lot of single mothers.
So are you well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then single mothers, you know, a lot of them say, look, well, if I get this for one kid, you know, how much would I get for 5 kids? Or how much would I get for 6 kids? I actually thought at one time that if a single mother has more than 3 kids, she should be sterilized. You know, this is how strong I felt that it was wrong for women to be having children based upon income, you know, based upon them as a paycheck.
So do you think the welfare system that was set up was detrimental? Or a bad thing? Or
No, it's a good thing. It was just something that was exploited.
Okay.
You know, it was exploited. And then you had the Puerto Ricans coming in, and then the Puerto Ricans who got 4 or 5 different names are now getting 4 or 5 different checks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this. So there was a lot of fraud going on through the world. But you know, what do they say about good intentions? You know what I'm saying? You know,
the road to hell is paved.
Good intentions. Yeah. You know, and
so you think it was good intentions, but it turned out to be a cluster.
Look at now, they're trying to pass the budget in the United States. And what are they saying? They said, what we need to do is that we have to cut out, you know, money going to these programs to help single mothers, these programs that are designed to help the kids, you know. So it's like, why would you even consider, you know, cutting those type of programs, you know, to fix the debt ceiling when you were giving millions to people and tax breaks to cats who own jets and yachts and all this stuff like this. You know, it's never been a matter of the rich, the trickle down. It's never happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's never happened. And then it's also a problem with being paid a fair wage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some places that are still making $8 an hour. Can you imagine being in the United States working? That's what they call the working poor. Now they got to work 2 and 3 jobs because...
Do you think that there's a color barrier on that? I mean, minimum wage is minimum wage, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Minimum wage is minimum wage. Yeah, but you can't paint everything with color. You know, at some point in time, you have to look at the status quo, who wants to keep it that way.
Okay,
you know,
I want to give you the last word. We're going to wrap it up because we're hitting 43 minutes.
Okay,
which is fine. We did about 50 on the last.
Okay,
video,
okay.
Wrap it up for me. Where do you think it stands between blacks and whites? Do you think that Paul McGill has an advantage over you because of my skin color? Do you think that I'm racist? Do you think that the video that we did was racist, or was it just a conversation? What do you think this is? Do you think this is a conversation? Do you think that we made any headway on this? Well, that was too many questions at once.
No. Outside of a lot of your viewers are going to point out he don't know what he's talking about me.
Well, they say that about me on every video.
but it's good. You know, it's good. The conversation is good. You know, but do we need to be talking about it so much? You know,
what if we don't talk about it? What if we just hide from it?
Well, look, okay.
Do you think that it's politically motivated? Do you think
that what is your social life like?
What is my social life like?
You and Baby May. What do you guys do?
Boring. Now that I'm married, you know.
You have no social life?
Oh, we have a social life. We
Yeah,
go
well,
out, we
like
kick
what?
it with people. We'll go out and meet a lot of subscribers call me, you know, or contact me. So I would say 3 or 4 days a week I'm meeting with somebody that watches the channel and they want to say hi. And we hook up and we have a cup of coffee together. Baby May and I are not really big on group stuff. We tend to stay to ourselves. So like on the brownout day, me and her just got in the car and drove around. We don't do, 9 people are all going to dinner. Sometimes we go. We kind of avoid parties. The meet and greet things that we were doing, I think they've come and gone. We've done enough of that stuff, you know, in my mind.
Okay.
That's my average day. Is I wake up, I hang out at the house, male clean or not. We come out and do something like this. If I wasn't doing a video with you, I'd probably be having coffee with somebody that called me or watched the channel. And then me and her will go to lunch or we'll go home, and that's how exciting we are.
Well, the reason I say that is because, sometimes I watch Mia's girlfriends, when they get together, they're having a good time, they're cooking or stuff like this, barbecuing or whatever. And so I asked Mia, I said, Mia, how come your friends don't invite you? How come they don't say, yo, Mia, you and Gerard come hang out with us? Mm-hmm. Gerard, why don't you come hang out with us? We're going to be over here shooting pool and we're out doing this. And then, so what am I supposed to think that the reason why you don't call me or don't ask us to come, when surely when I get there, I'm the only black person there.
Yeah.
But what am I supposed to think? Am I supposed to say they're racist? You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's easy to make that jump. It's easy to make that leap.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
They just don't like you.
Oh, okay. But why? But why? I bet their wives do. No.
You're a dick, that's why.
but it's real talk. It's real talk. We don't get invited to places or go places, and even when we do invite people to come, they don't come. You know what I'm saying? Which for whatever reason is for whatever reason. So I've just resided. We've just resided just to do our own thing.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Man, I don't get invited to a lot of stuff. Actually, we used to, but we just don't like to go to parties and stuff like that. We're just not built that way. I don't know. It's cool every now and then, but after a while, to me, it kind of gets old. It's like the guys go on one side of the room and the women go on the other side of the room, and everybody's just like, pretty soon the conversation just gets old.
Okay, my last words are...
But last words on black and white and racism.
No. Dreams are nothing more than plans.
Okay, let's have a different, your own last words, whatever they are. It's your video.
Dreams are nothing more than plans. Oh, it's your video. I'm going to put it on there. I did it before. Dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elder, always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. We're living good today, and we hope you're too. If you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, formerly singing the Temptation one song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like Paul and I, never say no.
Well, we got to end it on that, my friend.
I'll tell you what.
See you later, guys.
I'll talk to you later. Peace.